Why, hello there. This is Spastic Summary. I name, not my name, is Mr. Cornett. This is Mr.CornettDoesStuff. Indeed. Frank Herbert's Dune. Yeah. It's classic sci-fi literature. But more than sci-fi. Every person's pretension is satisfied by Dune. Historians, it's like a history. Philosophy nerds, spiritual people, oh man, Dune is like when I had a trip, man. Even this Hodorowski guy is obsessed with Dune. It's not so, but in a cool way. And then there's the, my culture, Dune. My military strategy, Dune. The politics, Dune. My nuclear economy, Dune. This Frank Herbert guy, he's pretty smart. In like a not super educated way, actually, a very lived experience way. He was a journalist who traveled around. The whole idea for Dune, it just came up because he was like, hey, the tidal effects of like wind and other shit affect sand dunes. Wouldn't that be like interesting? And that started it all. Because he's just got that expansive associative memory mind, this author. So he gets around, and then you get this complicated book, this intricate tapestry that people love to fawn over and worship. Like, the book is Muad'Dib itself. Muad'Dib! Go slay some Sadukar or something. Sadukar. So that's a great thing about it. There's the culture aspect. Let's touch briefly on everything to summarize the book. The culture aspect. You got the Sadukar, you got the Fremen, you got the city folk, you got the pretentious nobility, these Harkonnens, these noble Atreides. You got all kinds of sorts and sulks and sollygags in Dune by Frank Herbert. But the primary cultural thing you get out of it is the people in comfortable societies tend to have a weak, superficial, materialistic view, whereas the Fremen and the Sadukar, who live for honor, and kind of the nobility who live to kind of control things, have a totally different perspective and ability to just interact with their environment, get a sense of fulfillment, fight, primarily fight, actually. The Sadukar all come from that prison planet, and they're basically Spartans, for better or worse. And the Fremen are highly based on this Bedouin culture of honor killings, but in a wholesome way towards each other, duels. Very, very praiseworthy. You read Dune, you want to convert to Islam just a little bit. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, you're not summarizing a spastic summary. Well, I'm being spastic, and I'm summarizing the character of Dune, because, it's so special, you can't tell the story of Dune, because it's too interesting and too complicated. The story of Dune is very simple. You've got this guy named Paul. This Paul. He's extremely powerful, because he's a man who understands woman's intuition. That's it. End of story. He gets everything he wants. The real conflict isn't like, can Paul beat this enemy? Can Paul solve this problem? He can. He can solve this problem. The reason Paul can do all this is he has wisdom and gentleness of the woman. And he has leadership, cold thinking, mercilessness when it matters of a dude. And you could also look at the whole, he's an Atreides and he's a Harkonnen. Oh, spoiler! Oh, you got spoiled on a summary. Yeah, screw you, idiot. And he's got this yin-yang aspect of human talents and virtues that balances out very well. The Kwisatz Haderach he is, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because there's this whole idea of, he's prophesied to be like this. It's because he's prophesized that he accomplishes it. People are like, I guess we better follow him because of the prophecy, and that's the real reason people follow him. It's that simple. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that's kind of the power of it. There's this whole idea of like divination, seeing the future, and then there's this idea of objective decisions based on your willpower and comprehending possible timelines. And Paul basically has the calculator's logical mindset and this intuitive spiritual mindset at the same time. That's why everybody likes to jack off to Dune to their own perspective, because they can see one sliver of the human projection of power, ego, subconscious, and then they can project themselves onto it and be like, I'm just like Paul. Paul is God. You're just arrogant. Now, I don't even think Dune is like the best thing ever. It's pretty all-encompassing in some of these respects. You have to admit, it's pretty cool in some ways. And you're not on the plot. Look, I told you, the plot's simple. He solves all his problems because he's the prophet. He's Muad'Dib. And he lives on happy Caladan, which has seas, yay, waters everywhere. Then he goes to the little keep, and he has to foil assassination attempts. He lives there. And then there's some other stuff with other characters who are less important, who pop in and out. Let's be honest, it's Paul's story. It's the hero's Paul. Oh, I guess I should be calling him Usul. I should be calling him his official name, Paul Muad'Dib. He changed it. Should I call him Paul Atreides or Harkonnen? Screw this. The whole official bloodline thing becomes officially irrelevant. The book even ends with him dissing a woman by marrying her and then refusing to consummate it. Now that's pretty cold. And she's blonde with green eyes too. So, yikes. That's gotta get the ego. Just saying. I've got one green eye, and that definitely got my ego. Ooh. People talk about the dumb blonde. It's the green eyes that are the real problem. Just saying. But we're also the best. 50% of me is saying that. You're probably wondering, why is he going to say what happened next in the story? Yeah, he's in the keep, and then it gets destroyed by the Harkonnens, the Atreides, wiped out, blah, blah, blah. Dramatic, complex political intrigue. Pew, 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 I'm betraying you. And then there's a secret within a secret. It doesn't matter if there's a secret within a secret within a secret. If you're just honest with the state of the universe, and you live your life, and you go along, and you win by making good decisions, and being nice to people when you gotta be nice, and being merciless. I said the Kwisatz Haderach, I think I was going to explain what that actually means, his prophesized existence, is someone who gives and someone who takes. Very simple. He is the yin-yang, the masculine and the feminine, the alpha and the omega. Because if you limit yourself to, I'm only good at this, you're gonna fuck up. Paul isn't actually the best at any one thing. Arguably his mom and his then sister are better at the whole future-telling aspect. His dad's a better leader. That one guy who does all the accounting work for his dad is a better, logical thinker. There's better Fremen fighters, for sure. Paul's just, he's just got the highest base stat total. It's like Pokemon. He's like Arceus or Mew, the god or the progenitor of it all, you could say. And what happens? He's gonna summarize the plot. Isn't he gonna say what happens? I told you, Paul wins. End of story. If you read the book about a guy who's basically God, he's basically God. He gets what he wants. And yeah, sure, he has to make sacrifices. He can't see the real problems. The real conflict in the development of the story is Paul has to face that he's responsible for hurting people, causing problems, destroying things. He has to give and take, which means merciless destruction of things. Sometimes when he doesn't wanna, he has to kill Jamis. And after reading that chapter, I am Jamis's friend. He's a real asshole, but good water on that man, good fighting spirit, pretty disrespectful. Paul didn't just shank him right off the start, but he's like, it wasn't just the shield training. You gotta go slow to get to the shield. It was much more than that, really. He's gonna, Mr. Cornett, but what happens next? I'm so interested in your boring, horizontal explanation of the story. Yeah, I don't care if I'm boring. I'm boring a hole. Get wrecked. Oh yeah, so he gets the girl twice because harem's the only way to keep women in line, apparently. Jeez. That's pretty brutal, Mr. Herbert. Just saying. Ugh. It's so sad. His son dies, That's kind of overlooked by a lot of people. You can get what you want by choosing the best timeline, and figuring things out and being super smart and strong and sexy, but there's always going to be a sacrifice. Nothing's gonna be perfect. There's always associated tragedy. Even the whole, turning the planet green. The whole Fremen culture, the ecosystem of the sandworms, they can't have too much water, so you're destroying the real value of the planet and the ability to get the spice if you turn the planet entirely green. Even the happy ending, they only make a little bit of green, some rain every now and then. They can't terraform the whole thing, because then there's no more space, there's no more navigation guild, and everything in the universe collapses and gets destroyed as the fundamental commodity on which everything is based kills everybody in a severe lack. Oh, but what about this part of the book? That was my favorite part of the book. That was my favorite part of the book. Oh, it's Spastic Summary, buddy. This was Mr.CornettDoesStuff. I hope you were very entertained. Oh, please subscribe and like the video. Oh, whatever. Do what you want. You got free will. Even if you can see the future, you can have free will and ruin it. If you're blessed, you can ruin it. Everybody's like, oh, you're protected divinely. Oh, you're not. You are allowed to ruin your own life at any time. It's perfect. You can try to make better decisions based on logic, or based on intuition, or based on your feelings, or based on your moral obligations, but you have to have a balance of everything, just as the book tries to get a balance of, oh, you got politics, you got philosophy, you got spirituality. It's just Dune. That's all it is. It's just the whole book, the whole universe is just like a desert, man. Like grains of sand. And like I said, Frank Herbert, he was like, oh, I guess the sand dunes have the same tidal principles to the wind and other environmental factors as an ocean or a sea does with the waves moving. That's the macrocosm of the universe. It's not so complicated. That's why you open the book, and the book tells you Paul is gonna get everything and do everything right, and that his parents are gonna die. The real plot twist is that